Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Spotlight here at the Mid Michigan Now Digital Desk. I'm Sam Ali, and we're in the holiday season. The holiday season right now, July 3rd, tomorrow, the 4th of July. People have already started celebrating in their own ways. I know as I was driving to work on 75 North, it's already jam-packed with people heading up north to various locations. Might not be too far. You might be heading maybe closer to the bridge or something like that, but people are getting ready to celebrate. Kind of weird that it's on a Thursday. That's always the scheduling is kind of not the greatest, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good holiday weekend. Let's just jump right into things as free agency is underway for the NBA and the NHL. And one of the uh, most poignant observations that I noticed, and I'm playing a little Captain Obvious here, but it's so funny watching as we're seeing these deals. If you're on social media and they're getting announced, and they're running concurrently, the NBA contracts and the NHL contracts, and when you see so and so, you know, this much per year, um, the NBA is just passing out. Given the fact that the NHL in the first day of free agency passed, I think it was $1 billion in contracts, which was the most since 2016, but it still pales in comparison to the money that the NBA is giving out. So we're going to run down things for the Red Wings and the Pistons, and hopefully we do it and we don't miss anything that happens right now. So forgive me. I'm just going to be talking about a couple of the big moves, a little bit of overall thoughts on both teams, and hopefully nothing big happens as we're going on. And I only say that because for the Red Wings and the Pistons, a lot of fans thought there were going to be some bigger deals going on, some big moves, some big trades that both teams could be a part of. And up to this point, that has not been the case. So we'll start off with the Red Wings, and of course, the biggest deal has been the 1-year extension for Patrick Kane. I mean, what a deal! It was one of the best acquisitions of this past season. Yeah, it didn't lead to a playoff spot, but it did lead to a playoff chase that went down to the final seconds. So no one can deny what Kane was able to do. 47 points in 50 games this past season. And you have to take into consideration that he was, it wasn't a normal offseason as he was recovering from hip surgery. So you got, a regular offseason to get ready with the team. And it's going to be such a big deal to have him back. Another one of the big deals, Eric Gustafson's coming over on a 2-year contract, about $2 million per year. The idea here is he's going to be replacing Shane Gostisbehere on the defensive end, and he had 31 points last season for the Rangers. Definitely going to help on the power play is what he's going to be doing. I did find it interesting. If I could just bring it up, he is the definition of a journeyman. It just came to my mind right now. I just wanted to share this with everybody that man, he's been like on a different team almost every single year. Let me bring this up for you because it is very, very interesting. So as you can see, last year with the Rangers, the year before with the Capitals, the year before with the Maple Leafs, and then with the Blackhawks, Flyers, Canadiens, and then back with the team that originally had drafted him, Chicago. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be a 7th different team in 7 years. It's unbelievable. But as you can see, 31 points last year, 38 points the year before. A guy who, he'll get on the board, but you don't want to rely too much on what he could bring to the table. So Erik Gustafsson, he said in the interview that he talked with the media yesterday, and he said growing up, his favorite player was Nicklas Lidstrom. So kind of makes a lot of sense. And then, of course, one of the biggest needs was going to be goalie. James Reimer signs with the Sabres, I believe. So he's out, and in comes Cam Talbot. 2-year deal for him. A little bit on the older side, 37 years old, a former All-Star. I don't know. I don't think this does anything for them now. Sometimes you sign a goalie on the back end of their careers, and they do some crazy stuff. So hopefully he can solve this goalie issue that I feel like the Wings have had for such a very long time. No consistency in the crease, and hopefully Cam Talbot can do that. So up until this point, like I mentioned earlier, fans have just been really disappointed because there were those Steve Stamkos rumors, and he was, as far as we know, according to insiders, was interested in coming to the Red Wings. He would eventually jump on with the Nashville Predators. And up until this point, I mean, if you look at free agency right now, and this is the case for the NHL and the NBA, more so for the NHL, the big names are gone. I mean, this is it. The best you could do is maybe make a trade acquisition. Other than that, I mean, this is it. This is it. It is what it is. So these are not the only signings that the Red Wings have done. They've definitely done some of these, fringe signings, brought in a couple of guys who are actually from the state of Michigan, which is kind of cool. But at this point, I mean, I don't know, they didn't get worse. Didn't get that much better. So I think fans have a right to be very disappointed. So that is your Detroit Red Wings. Let's jump on to everyone's favorite team, the Detroit Pistons. And we'll start things off. We'll kind of bounce around because they have a little bit more of a unique situation. We'll start off. Cade Cunningham, max rookie extension, 5 years, $226 million. This past season, one of 5 players to average 22 points and 7 assists. We've seen flashes. We've seen what this guy is capable of. I kind of feel like it's unfair to judge. I really do. This past season, man, just throw it out the window. There was just so much bad vibes. You could just see it on the bench. There were so many camera shots that they would pan to Cade Cunningham on the bench when they were down like 30, in the middle of the third quarter, and he just had this look on his face like, what am I doing here? This was never in doubt. No rookie in NBA history has turned down a max extension. And that probably has more to do with the fact that, he could sign this and take all the pictures and smile, say all the right things, and then next year demand a trade. So you hope that's not the case. But I really think it's just, it's a formality. You had to do this, whether you think Cade Cunningham is part of the future or he was part of the problem the last couple of years. Whatever it is, I personally think that he is a very, very, very good basketball player. I really do. But it's just, they just got to help this guy out. And up to this point, they haven't, if we're being totally honest. But they are trying to help him with a new head coach. JB Bickerstaff was officially announced earlier today. that they have come to an agreement. He's going to be the new head coach. JB Bickerstaff spent the last 5 years in Cleveland, and the last 2 years of that tenure, he led them to the playoffs. And his big thing is defense. Cleveland has been consistently ranked within the top 10, very close to. There were one of these past years, they were the number one defense in the league, offensively towards the bottom. So that's going to be the issue right now, is like, what do you want? But the thing is with the Pistons, like, everything was a need. They were not good offensively. They were not good defensively. So if you could improve on either side of the ball, I think that's a plus. The hesitancy I have in believing in this hire, I really thought I wanted an assistant coach, someone, who like, honestly, I wanted someone who didn't have head coaching experience. This is going to be a tear it down to the foundation and build up kind of thing. There's a very, very good chance that by the time the Pistons eventually become competitive and become a playoff team, I don't think JB Bickerstaff is even going to be here, just with how the turnover works in the NBA. But with I don't, like I said, I mean, I don't know. I don't know with him. And then do want to mention that, I mean, the roster for the Cleveland Cavaliers is significantly better than what the Pistons have to deal with. And obviously it's something where he's going to be building towards getting better. But to say that, what he did in Cleveland, he'll be able to do it in Detroit, or, that's going to be the plan. I mean, this guy with Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen. I mean, all of those guys, I mean, you can say would be the best or close to the best player, or absolutely would be the second best player. Like, if you take, for example, like Darius Garland, honestly, if you put him on the Pistons right now, he would be the second best player on the team. All I'm saying is the situations are completely different, and I don't know how quick of a turnaround this is going to be, which for lack of a better word, it sucks, because we went through last year and it just kind of feels like we're going to go through that again. Maybe not that bad, maybe not a 28 game losing streak, maybe not 14 wins, maybe we get close to 20, but we're still far away. We're still far, far away from being even a competitive team. Nice negativity, right? And then free agency. The Tim Hardaway Jr. thing, I mean, that's just a piece. It's just a piece. I don't think we should spend a lot of time on that, but Tobias Harris is back. Tobias Harris, like as the kids say, very mid. This is the most mid player in the NBA. Averaged 17 points per game last season. But, and again, it's just the circumstances. He comes on this team, he comes on this roster, he's the second best player. He's automatically the second best player on this team, which doesn't say much about him. It's just an indictment on the roster as it is. The whole, we got, a guy who can score, a guy who's a shooter, he can, space the floor. I mean, it's Tobias Harris. It's an incremental improvement, but this guy really isn't going to move the needle. He's, a good voice in the locker room, a veteran, but 0 all-star appearances, like no accomplishments whatsoever. But he does get a sweet 2-year, $52 million deal. So yeah, both teams, Pistons and the Red Wings, a little underwhelming. There is still a chance that the Pistons could make a deal. There have been rumors that the Chicago Bulls are looking to blow things up with Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, and the idea, which is what Trajan Langdon said in his introductory press conference was to take on these bad contracts at the end of the day, but teams would attach a first-round pick to it so that the deal would be more easily digestible. So that's what people have been looking forward to. And at the end of the day, a deal like the Tobias Harris deal, it's one of those, again, that you just had to do because there is a minimum that the Pistons have to spend no matter what. So you knew they were going to have to do one ugly contract for just like I mentioned, a mid player. They were going to have to do that because you can't just sit on the money. You can't just be like, well, I don't want to spend it. You have to. So we'll see. Like I mentioned, maybe that's the case. I mean, I'll take a look right now real quick on X, on Twitter, to make sure that there isn't anything that I missed. Nothing. Okay, cool. All right, just making sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Man, I hope we get to a point where we don't have to focus on the negativity. So anyways, coming up later tonight on Mid-Michigan Now, had a chat with the new head coach of the Davison wrestling team, Jason Mester. He is a CMU grad, a CMU Hall of Famer, who has bounced around the Big Ten as a coach, and now he's coming to Davison to continue the tradition with the Cardinals. Chatted with him, and we'll have that at 10 and 11, and I believe the Tigers, they're in the Twin Cities. They're taking on the Minnesota Twins. We'll have those highlights as well. So should be a good show. Be sure to tune in tonight at 10 and 11 on Mid-Michigan Now, and be sure to join me next Wednesday as we chat about the goings. Hopefully some more positive news. Hopefully we'll have something more positive to talk about. But until then, enjoy your 4th of July. Enjoy the holidays. Stay safe and have fun. We'll see you next week.